Well, South Carolina's coming off an impressive win at Florida, and they really played tough in that game to keep clawing back, fighting back when they were down a couple times, and it just speaks to their program and why they're so hard to play against, because they never ever stop fighting, and they're clawing and scratching, and they're tough. And Silva again is a guy that I've been impressed with since day one. And he was a force in that second half. In the first half, he only played 4 minutes because he was in foul trouble. Gravitt, they're two seniors. Gravitt had 20 and is playing really well and shooting it well. And some of their young kids, Lawson and Bryant, are really good guards and good players. So they're talented. And we're going to have to play well to have success tomorrow night in Columbia. Questions?
Go ahead and start with Joel.
You guys had a lot of momentum building and things, and then I guess a 10-day or so stretch off. You think that's beneficial to your team to get that time off, or is it a situation where you would have liked to have had a game somewhere in there to kind of try and keep that momentum rolling?
I only look at it as positive. I think we got a lot done with our practices, and we're able to do a lot of things to try to shore up some things, improve, and at this point, there is no break. It just keeps coming hereafter. And the reason why we had that happen to us is we're one of the 4 teams that is not playing in the Big 12 Challenge, and so because of that, we had the longer stretch here at this time of year, and we're, knock on wood, reasonably healthy right now, and you've had good practices with rest in between, lifting, getting back to get in the weight room, which we missed a lot during the Christmas. We went 8 days without a lift. So I think all of that's a real positive for us.
Go to front middle.
Coach, in your years at Mississippi State, you've had some real wars with South Carolina. What is it about this matchup that makes these games so entertaining?
Well, they're just really physical, and they play really hard. Frank's had very good teams, and they're very well coached. They really embody him in terms of the toughness and the fight that they bring, and they're really tough defensively. They're always one of the best defensive teams in the country year in and year out, so it's always tough to score on that team.
Go to the front here to Coach's right.
Happy New Year. When you look at the team at this point this season compared to at the same point last season, what are the biggest differences that you see, and why have those differences contributed to the success that you've had?
I think we're more mature. We're a year older. We have more experience. We have guys that are coming back from a team that won 25 games, and so they've grown and improved from that point a year ago with all the experience that they gained and all the work they put in the off season. And then they've had a good non-conference up to this point. And then we've added, I think we're a little more talented with the additions of Reggie Perry and Robert Woodard. I think that's definitely helped us too, because those are 2 very fine freshmen that are getting better every day and really making a difference for us in terms of our depth and in terms of our talent.
We'll go to Logan to Coach's left.
I was in here last night after the women's game, and Derek Zimmerman was working with Reggie Perry, and they were talking about Silva, just how physical he was and how tough a matchup he's going to be. Just how tough is it to simulate their physicality down low in the post?
Yeah, Silva's really, I think he was second in the country last year in free throws attempted per game. So he's great at getting to the line, at getting big. He really is active with his arms, and he's very athletic, and so he's a difficult matchup and hard to simulate him.
Stay on the front with Tyler.
Toward the end of conference play, it seemed like everything really started clicking at the same time too, especially in that BYU game, second half. But if there's one area heading into SEC play that you think still needs to be improved upon, what would that be?
We got to be better defensively. Look at our field goal percentage defense. It's not where we want it to be. Part of that is the opponents we've been playing are very good offensively when you look at how well they shoot the ball, and especially our 3-point field goal percentage defense has got to improve.
Anything else for Coach? Go back here to the front.
When you look at the statistical categories, there's really not much difference between last year and this year in a lot of those categories, but You mentioned experience in your previous answer. How much can that be the intangible that really makes a difference between a team maybe having a better possession, making a good shot, a great shot, rather than maybe forcing a shot or rushing a shot?
And also, winning close games down the stretch, we've won a number of this year. But, you look at the three-point percentage, that is a huge difference from a year ago. So it's not just a slight thing. And including our free throw shooting has improved. Our overall field goal percentage has improved. So I think those are differences. And our rebound margin. Our rebound margin last year wasn't nearly what it is right now, and we've got to continue to improve upon that. But all those are definitely improved from where we were a year ago.
Coach, I know Saturday being the start of SEC play, did you watch any of those games? I know you'll probably had a practice somewhere around that, but how much were you able to?
Well, I definitely watched Florida host South Carolina, because those are two of our first three opponents. So I was locked in. I was watching film all day. We practiced in the morning, and I watched film all day on South Carolina, with the exception of that block of time where I obviously watched that game and kept notes, because that's a game that really relates to us here early in our season.
Individually, you got 5 in doubles last year. At this point, you had 4 with somebody really close. But individually, I know it's not, you're not going to focus on just one player being a difference. But Lamar is up 6 points from last year at this point. What has his improvement or maturation or development, whatever word you want to use, how has that impacted the team?
In a big way. He's playing better in a lot of ways. He's stronger. He's a better defensive player. I think he's matured a lot physically, as well as just with the experience. He's obviously, I think a year ago, he shot 27% from 3. Right now it's like at 43. So that's a big variance right there. Just playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of swag, and has been very good for us thus far throughout this non-conference, and expect him to be the same here as we go into conference.